Hey everybody, welcome back to Konversation.
Hello.
I'm Rick,
And I'm Naeem.
and this young lady here, I say young because she'll hit me if I don't.
That's why we have the sticks.
It's Futaba Takashima.
Takashima.
I just went over that whole thing
Yeah,
like
and
we
you
just
still got it
practiced
wrong.
and he still
I
got it
practiced and I still got it wrong.
This is why I talk crap about you.
So the other thing is that I actually call her mom whenever I'm here.
And I call him
We're
Dad.
inside of the Physique Magnifique gym, and we're downstairs in the dungeon where we have, like behind us, you can see there's a boxing ring. And upstairs, they have a whole floor of weights and all that. So we were here last time, and we were here with her husband.
I'm not her husband, by the way.
No.
No.
Yeah.
My husband
Her
is
husband,
Jim Wilson.
Jim Wilson.
Yeah, and we talked about his bodybuilding stories
Well,
and how
he
he got.
was employee number one.
Yeah.
This is the boss. we
This
were
is the
referring
boss.
to.
Yeah, she's in charge.
She's the one in charge. She wears the pants, the skirt, everything.
So the first question I have to ask: How is this COVID thing doing with your gym?
He's definitely hit us hard
Yeah.
because we've only been open 4.5 months out of the whole year, and we're almost at the end of the year.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we're already at the end of September.
yeah.
Wow,
So I mean,
time
it's
flies
definitely,
in
it's
quarantine.
definitely. I think the fitness industry has been hit very hard.
Oh yeah, you're hearing a lot of them wanting to just sue the cities and the states and and everybody just
Yeah.
because they're hit so hard that it's really going into their pockets.
Yeah.
A lot of them I've heard have closed down.
Yeah.
Now, how are you staying open?
Because we're amazing. No, I'm only kidding.
No, you are.
She really is. I
'Cause I
mean,
know
she's-
some of the things that you're doing. You're doing online stuff.
We're doing
things-
outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
We negotiated a whole section because even now fortunately we're open,
Right.
but it's a on a very small scale.
Where do we find this location?
387 Grand Avenue in South San Francisco. It's in downtown South San Francisco.
Is this really considered downtown?
Yes.
It is.
There's no building taller than 2 floors.
It's
Doesn't matter.
Grand. It's right by City Hall.
Yeah.
Grand Avenue is the main street. All the restaurants.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
tech companies are right around the other side of that
Yep.
freeway. It's a lot of busy.
So what were the criteria for opening the store again during this COVID?
We can only open at 10% capacity.
Wow. What does that mean? Only 10 people can come in at a time, or?
Kick people out.
Yeah, I mean for the total area, about between 20 and 25 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
But don't you feel that during the weekdays you really only have that many people come
Yeah.
anyway? So
Fortunately, we're not like the big box gyms where their memberships are in the thousands.
Right.
We're only in the hundreds, and it's only going to become a little bit tricky in the evenings between
Right.
probably 5 and
When everybody
7,
gets off work.
when
Right.
everybody wants to train at the same time.
And how are you handling that?
We don't know because we have just literally just opened, and we haven't even announced it yet because
Yeah,
this
I
week
heard
because we
word of
were because we were told. The only reason I was told on Tuesday, and the only reason I found out, was because I train a client who works for the city, and she says, "Oh, you can open now."
So you had the in.
Inside
Yeah.
information.
She literally told me, "Oh, you can open today." It's like, "Oh, okay. I have no staff."
So there was no announcement,
So-
no prep.
No.
Well, because you guys haven't been ready. Because you guys opened for a little bit, somewhere in the middle of this
June.
quarantine, right?
June, yeah. We were open 1 month in June after being closed for 3.5 months. And then we got shut down again at the end of
I was just
July.
getting back to my routine, coming back to the gym, and then all of a sudden it's closed again. It has really been hard for people.
You have to wear your mask. So do you.
Wait, inside the gym
No.
right
in
now.
the interview, yeah.
Oh, okay,
See,
fine.
because this is not 6 foot.
That's true.
See?
I'm
It's-
Filipino, so it kind
No.
of counts. No?
Dad.
Let me run and get my mask, Mom.
I just realized.
This is why she's the boss.
You see, and we have to do what she says.
We do.
Otherwise,
We do not dare.
She hits hard.
Go against mom. No.
she knows the sticks are right here in front of us.
Yeah. Well, she knows a lot of other things, but
All right.
Sorry about that.
So I have a question because you do a lot of things here.
Yeah.
You're not just the owner of the gym. You actually were bodybuilding with your husband. Tell us a little bit about that because
So, of course, my husband, Jim, he started when he was 15. And we met when we were about like 29 or 30, maybe.
really,
Yeah. So he had already been doing this for a long, long time. He won a lot of national championships, different awards.
Mr. USA.
And Mr. USA was actually when we trained together.
Ah.
Yeah, so I
So
got
you were
to see
you were
him.
you
yeah.
were
You were the inspiration.
I don't know about that.
his muse.
But
It's an art.
he
Yeah.
actually he was actually my trainer.
Okay.
So I did a Madonna and married my trainer.
Madonna.
Because it was his friend was dating somebody, and then you became his trainee, and then the
Trainee,
four of you
Became
worked out
training
together.
partners.
Yeah.
After I was his client for about 2 years,
Uh-huh.
then he said, you're my friend. I can't take your money anymore. Do you want to be my training partner?
Oh.
And that's how we became training partners.
He was
But-
slick. He was.
he was slick.
She was biding her time. I'm gonna get freebie soon.
And he's thinking, one step closer, one step closer.
So the other thing that I know about you and what I love and I actually hate as well, you do nutrition here.
Ooh.
Yes, I am.
And the reason why I say I hate that is because when I first asked her about it, she says, write everything you eat and make a list of this and that. And I'm like, never mind. I'm not going to. She actually threatened to tell the Starbucks and the boba place that if I ever go in there, not to serve me. Mm-hmm. This is how mean she is.
No, she's dedicated. I don't know about
No,
mean.
that's mean.
No, I'm gonna talk her up. She's dedicated. If you ask her for her help, she's going to give it to you.
Now, in our colleague conversation, we've been talking to a bunch of different people. We've talked to the bodybuilder. We've talked to people in different types of martial arts. We talked to a back doctor, and we're gonna pick your brains on nutrition.
Right.
How important is that? Because even in the martial arts world, I imagine that's going to be something, especially if we have a lot of viewers who train a lot and they work out all the time. What are the words of wisdom that you have?
Oh.
Oh, you're
It
going to
would
make them
take
write
me-
a list?
Yeah.
Do we need to do
It
like
would
3 hours
take
worth
me,
of?
yeah, I think it'll take me like 3 hours. But
What are the basics?
so there's different kinds of diets, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you look up on the internet, you're going to see every single kind of diet
Right.
under the sun.
Yeah.
But depending on what it is that you're trying to accomplish will determine which diet to pick,
Right.
right? So for
the fuel
years,
for the type of.
yeah, but so as with anything, I mean, remember when cell phones first came out?
Yeah.
They were very we thought it was state of the art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big block.
But now,
Giant brick.
yeah, and you could only make a phone call. You couldn't even text back then, right? Then when you could text, it was like, oh my God, you can text.
Right.
And now it's pretty much a miniature computer,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yes, very much.
So just like that, I think our knowledge about nutrition is constantly evolving.
Right, and the
So-
web gives you a lot of information.
Yeah, but sometimes you
lot
have to
of
be careful
misinformation.
on the web because the web is kind of like the new bathroom wall, like toilet
Right,
door,
right,
right?
right,
So
yeah,
you can,
yeah.
and anybody can claim to be anything and
Right.
and get an
Yeah,
audience.
you always hear that it must be true. Why? Because it's saw it on the net.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, so it's constantly evolving, and the things that I did, 20 years ago for bodybuilding,
Right.
are not necessarily, they work. So let me back up. So there are diets that will actually, all diets right now, because everybody wants to lose weight,
Right.
right? Everybody around the world, and especially in the United States, when 32% of the population are obese, right? That's
32.
even
Yeah, I'm in that category.
32% as opposed to 2% in Japan, right? Are obese, right? So America is very obsessed about weight loss.
Yeah, we're fat.
And we're very obsessed about looking a certain way because Americans like to, especially in California, I think, we like to show our bodies off.
Right.
And so that's like a criteria that everybody has to.
I'm a little
is
embarrassed to
trying
show mine, so I don't.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the criteria that everybody is striving for, especially with social media and this and that. Sometimes it's unrealistic
And unhealthy.
But it can. That's what I wanted to lead to is
okay.
unhealthy, right? So there are a lot of diets that actually work to help you lose weight, but that doesn't mean that it's healthy on the inside,
Right.
right? So I can give you a few different diets so you would lose weight just like that, right? But is it really healthy? or not.
Right.
So
So,
keto
you know?
diets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All these things.
So all
are-
those things are, and you got to also keep in mind that like with the keto diet comes different supplements and everything, and now everybody's saying, oh, it's keto, keto, keto. So that's the buzzword, right? So it's a money-making thing. So you got to kind of keep in mind, is it really healthy? And even the paleo diet, oh, that's how the people used to eat and this and that. But people didn't really used to eat like that. People ate animals that were free roaming,
Right, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not that were
Not the
that were
processed food.
the caged,
Right.
given growth hormones, given antibiotics.
yeah, because even the word free range is just a term. It could still be a cage of a certain size.
Yeah.
It's
or
still a cage.
if it's allowed outside
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
for so many minutes
Yeah.
or so many hours,
still
That's
then
enough.
you can say free range.
Right.
Right. So
Seriously,
That's really deceiving.
Yeah.
it is.
it is
Yeah.
right, and so definitely. And then nowadays you hear everybody's, oh, I'm vegan, right? And actually, vegan is not a bad thing,
Okay.
except even vegan is there's healthy vegan and then there's unhealthy vegan, right?
Right.
So now everybody wants to be vegan, but they want to still like kind of feel like they're eating meat, so they have the processed meat.
Yeah, the
that-
Impossible Burger.
Yeah, like the Beyond Burgers and all those things. They taste great.
They do,
but
actually.
they're processed,
Yeah.
Yes.
I still
right?
don't like the way
And
they taste.
processed is very always questionable. It's
The chemicals and things that go into
and
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
mhm. And everything is really about how you can make more money.
Right. Oh, of course. It's
Right?
a capitalist. Yeah.
And so just because you're vegan doesn't necessarily make you healthy. Now, if you're a pure vegan
Uh-huh.
and you know what you're doing and you're eating all organic fruits, all organic vegetables, of course, no meat,
Uh-huh.
right?
What's
Then
the fun in that?
yeah, so like I said,
I can
like
be,
I
yeah.
said, that's why there's different kinds of diets, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, of course, there's the ultimate diet, right, to keep you really strong. And then from our really good friend, who's
Uh-huh.
also one of the trainers here, and he's in his 70s. He looks like he's in his 50s.
Oh, yeah,
right?
that man is.
Charles.
Yeah,
right?
Charles has
So
a great vitality
He
tool.
turned me on to this new celery cleansing. It's a liver cleansing, and
Ooh, can we talk about that more later? Because I have a fatty liver.
oh yeah, no. The problem, because nowadays when you think about it, why do so many children have ADD or ADHD?
Yeah.
Why are so many people getting dementia and Alzheimer's at such a young age?
Right.
Why are so many people have fatty liver?
Losing their hair.
Right. Why do
Hey.
so many people have psoriasis, eczema?
Yeah.
Why do so many people have heart attacks?
Uh-huh.
Why do so many people have
Even
brain
diabetes.
brain fog, diabetes? Right?
Right.
Why?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
all
yeah.
of a sudden is all this happening?
Right.
Right? We're still the same people.
Right.
It's really all the foods that we're eating
And the chemicals in them.
and the chemicals, yeah, and
Hmm.
and so it's all about so the more you do it, the more you clog up your liver, because your liver is like this big huge filter, right? And then like even a vacuum cleaner,
Right.
when the filter gets dirty, it
Yeah,
doesn't
you got-
work
yeah,
anymore,
right.
right? So you got to
clean it
get
out.
it
Clog it.
yeah, so you have to clean it out or get a new filter,
Right.
right? So your liver is like this big, huge filter, and we eat whatever we want to eat, and especially this generation, it's like, oh, if it doesn't taste good, I'm not going to eat it. Oh, if it's, and people jokingly say, oh, if it's good for you, it probably tastes bad. And we've,
It's a
we
stigma.
kind of, yeah, it's like this, oh, whatever kind of mentality.
Right, right.
But really, we're clogging our liver. That's why the older we get, we get more of a, oh, I had a senior moment, or, oh, I'm diabetic, but it runs in my family, or,
Yeah, we start coming up with these excuses. I
Yeah.
have a friend who's a bit older, and he keeps talking about losing his mind because, oh, my family has a history of this and this. And I'm like, you're one of the sharpest people I know.
Yeah,
Why
and
are
So
you
I'll
it's
disprove
talking
that
about
probably-
because everybody in my family has diabetes
Mm-hmm.
except for me.
You're an anomaly.
Yeah, but also too because I made you stop eating a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and you're right. You're right. I don't need a lot of sugar. I don't,
Give her her credit.
She's been helping me. Yes, I don't have diabetes because of her.
I check his drinks when he comes into the gym.
She does. That's like not a joke at
Yeah,
all.
I know.
And I will take it away.
I will sometimes have to sneak it in here, and it's like
She's a teacher at heart. I mean,
Yeah.
just now we were supposed to start a few minutes ago, but I went upstairs and I don't know. You're not training them. They're just some
No.
kids that came in, and she stopped and started showing them how to do the exercise properly, because it's how you do things and how you go about doing things that gives you the better results. Is that your opinion?
Absolutely.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
So nutrition then being exactly the same way is understanding.
Yeah. And nutrition is even more so because it's everything.
Right.
It controls
Right.
everything in our body.
It's not like you can train the liver to be.
No. So
you can only do the cosmetic stuff.
Yeah. And so, just like everybody says, oh, stay on top of, oh, you need to stay on top of technology and this and that. But nobody ever seems to stay on top of their nutrition.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
And the more science finds out about things, I think that we shouldn't be stuck in the olden days. We
Right.
should really get with the program.
But
You know?
In that regard, though, it seems that the more we learn about nutrition and how the body functions better, the more we kind of have to go back to the olden stuff and really get down to processing things in a cleaner way, which is how things used to be done before the industrialization of the whole food processing
Yeah.
industry.
But we all know that's not realistic and it's not going to happen.
Really, why is
Right?
that?
Well, because they lose too much money.
I didn't say it.
No,
But it's
so,
true.
So
It's
that's
true.
why, we started our own garden. I think it's
Really?
yeah, we started our own garden because you can't, because you're getting organic things, but honestly, when they're making organic things, right? You have an organic, say, corn here, then you have not the organic over here, and what if they're spraying, and the wind happens to be blowing this way? You're gonna get
Cross-contamination, yeah.
cross-contamination. You just can't help
Wow.
it, right? So we're buying organic stuff in the hopes that maybe it's less, less
Toxic,
toxic, but we don't have, there's no way unless we get
Yeah,
some,
we don't have like a kit, the
No.
chemical kit to start testing
Yeah.
everything that we do. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so, there's so much, nutrition is so deep that, we could just keep going on and on and on, and nobody
That's why
would
we
wanna
brought you
listen.
in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because in the sense of what we do in the martial arts, we're talking about there's all these different types of diets, and some of them can make you lose weight right away. But ultimately, what we want is that longevity. Mm-hmm. So in that regard, what's one of the things that you would recommend that would give us down that path of longevity so we can kick each other's butts for
Until I
years
kill
to come?
Well, I definitely think that modern day people, and especially modern day Americans, are eating way too much meats.
We need to cut back on our
And-
meat, dude.
And it doesn't help when the paleo and the keto diet tells you, oh, you eat protein, because keep in mind, protein is one of the hardest foods to break down.
Okay, let's talk about that then.
Right?
How does protein?
So protein, like animal protein, is the hardest to break down.
Really?
Right? And so, where is the stress? In your liver.
Yeah, it gets
Right?
It stores it there until it could break it down.
Right? And it takes forever. Like when you eat meat, it stays in your intestinal tract for a long time, for days, right? So really, it's rancid and it's going through your system. So it's not the healthiest of things, right? Now, on the flip side, right? For example, the Eskimos, right? The Eskimos back in the days before fire was invented, they ate walrus and all kinds of stuff that's very, very fatty, but they ate it raw, right? So when you eat raw things, there are enzymes within the raw things, so it breaks itself down.
So let me ask you this, because you're saying meats now. Chicken is a meat, but is it better than steak?
No, it's just as bad.
Just
Really?
How
Yeah.
about fish?
Just as bad.
So I was always on the belief that fish is good because that'll,
Yeah, and then chicken.
Because
and chicken. I mean,
all right, so
God, this sucks. I can't.
all right, so
I'm not gonna have any
unless
food to eat.
unless you have chickens on your own land,
Right.
and you let it feed on like the grass and insects, right?
The natural,
the
yeah.
natural way. And then you kill it yourself. Then yes, it's healthy. But when a company does it for money,
Right.
they're not doing that. Right? They say free range, but I said free range means so many minutes out of the cage a day, you can say
Right.
free range. So it's not really free range. And they say, oh, they're eating organic food. Well, what kind of organic food? Right? It's probably corn.
Right.
Corn is genetically modified.
It's
right?
been, yeah, for years.
And it says organic, but like I said, with the cross-contamination, how do we really know that it's organic?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you can't trace the source.
Right, and then the goal of the people raising the chickens, raising the cattle, the goal is to make them as big as possible, as fast as possible, so that they can get their money as fast as possible. So that
But you know, it's
turnaround
crazy
is
that you
faster.
just say that, because like if you go to, I remember back in the days when you went to KFC,
Right.
the chickens were big. Now when you go, they're these little tiny things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what the hell's going on? I mean, is that just a way of increasing the money by making more of these small chickens and selling them as?
I think they just kill them sooner instead of letting
Well, that's
them-
what I'm saying
yeah.
though. So that means
Well,
they're,
I don't know about KFC.
Well, because
but
if you look at it, even at Popeyes or Church's Chicken,
they're
have
just
you noticed
giving you, they're
there's so
just
much
giving
Okay.
you less.
You do realize that you're talking to a nutritionist
I know.
and comparing fried food.
I know. Hey,
She's not gonna know.
I'm just mad. I'm just mad that when I go to places, even in some restaurants,